Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that gets hangry sometimes. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 36 Double Agents Reunion Part 2. That's right, this is it. This is the final episode of The Challenge Double Agents of the season of the reunion. And in this final part of the reunion, they only allotted 30 minutes to be centered around Fessy. Then the hour and 25 minutes that they allotted for in the first part of the reunion. So we got a lot of different topics to talk about. Now, just like last week's video, I'm going to be touching on the big topics that were brought up during the reunion, the main takeaways, and then my own comments and review about each topic. So let's just jump into it, starting where last week left off, and that was going to be talking to Fessy and Nelson together about Fessy's betrayal to Nelson, and we get a little bit more backstory on everything that was happening before the season and heading into the season, where Nelson was talking about how him and Fessy were getting into a business venture, and then they had some beef when Fessy pulled out after he already said that he was going to be good with it, and they had some beef. They didn't talk for pretty much the whole time that they were in the off season, and then right before the season started, that's when Nelson picked up the phone, called Fessy, and they squashed their beef heading into the season as friends, or so they thought. When turning over to Fessy to talk about this situation, Fessy was like, I only knew him for like a year less than, and we didn't talk for 3 months. Basically, he's like, I don't know him anything. Are we actually really friends? Is what I kind of got from the conversation. And Fessy goes on to explain that he knew that Nelson was the compromised agent. He was going to go into the elimination regardless, and then Josh was going to be the one being thrown in against Nelson, and he was like, I'm going to lose an alliance member regardless tonight. Why not get my gold skull in the mix if I'm going to lose somebody anyways? Nelson then goes on to call Fessy foul, saying that he didn't even call him after the season to like apologize or to explain himself. On Nelson's birthday, Fessy sent him like an essay explaining himself, apologizing, and Nelson was like, that's all I need to know about your character. I forgive Fessy, but we're on the opposite side of the ball game. I'm never going to be able to trust him ever again. No way, never. And Corey even speaks up and he's like, look, me and Nelson, we hold each other to high standards, and we did the same thing with Fessy. We held him to the high standards that we hold each other, and some people aren't cut out for that. Corey has Nelson's back regardless, no matter what, especially after what happened in Total Madness, and I think that they're gonna have their eye on Fessy. Maybe they'll work with him like from an arm's like length and distance, but I'm sure that the first thing or the first chance that they got to throw him in or screw him over, they're gonna do it, especially Nelson. And I can't wait because they're both rumored to be on the next season of The Challenge, so I'm hoping they are, and I'm hoping that Nelson can get some revenge on Fessy later on the line. Now we move on to topic 2, which was fights. We go over Pizzagate 2.0, we go over Anissa and Lolo in the All Brawl, and then we get into Fessy calling CT washed up. Fessy acknowledges that he only watched 2 seasons coming into Total Madness, which was War of the Worlds and War of the Worlds 2, and he didn't understand what the hype was about CT until after this season when he went onto YouTube and watched like a compilation clip online about CT, and now he has a newfound respect for CT. We're gonna have to wait to see what's gonna happen in future seasons, if he's gonna keep up with like, oh, I have this mad respect for CT, or if he's gonna call him washed up one night when they're drinking again and tensions get too high and they rise too much. We're gonna have to wait to see what's gonna happen. But later on in that conversation and topic, Corey mentions that Fessy needs to eat some humble pie. Just be humble, be secure in yourself, and you'll be good. You don't need to be like ramping yourself up, going online, talking to everybody, because he's saying that's mainly talking to fans that get underneath your skin. Nobody here is questioning you that if you're a good player or not. Like, just be a good competitor, maybe humble yourself, and you'll be good. Before we head into other topics, we come back from commercial break, and that's when Fessy is getting a pep talk from Josh backstage, and then we come back to the stage, and then we get into some of the betrayals. We already talked about Fessy and Nelson earlier on, so this is more of like Amber v. Amber beef, and Leroy's deal with Kyle to be like, hey, vote in Fessy, and then Cam will throw in Corey. Amber v. Amber really gets heated up. Amber M is like really frustrated with Amber B, saying that she's a total liar. Gabby is in the same thing, saying like, look, I think she's even fake crying for the camera to get on camera. I really liked how Amber B took a stance on everybody and saying like, look, this is the game I'm playing. Yes, I lied, but we all lied. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what's best for my game, and I'm gonna listen to Darrell because he's a 4-time champ. He is my partner, and I know he has my back in this game more than anybody else. So I'm gonna listen to him rather than listening to all these rookies like myself don't know what we're doing and don't know how the game is even played. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna listen to Darrell and I'm gonna take his advice and I'm just gonna go with it. And look where it got Amber B. It got her to a win. It got her to the finals. She gets on Amber M for taking shots that are outside of the game. The Leroy and Kyle thing was more of a joke. Like, Kyle knows how the game is played. He knows that it gets dirty sometimes, and yeah, he could hate it in the moment, he could hate it overall, but at the end of the day, it's something that happened. He knows it's something that happened, and that it's just gonna have to roll off his back, and he just has to go into the next season. He did make some jokes about like Leroy, whatever Leroy's gonna say, or his apologies, he could stick it up his butt. It was just a really funny moment. It was just all a joke. Speaking of a light moment, the green lights go off, and that's when we get to Devin and Nani, and Devin's tweet about "shut up, Nani." 10 years, no wins, and that was after Devin and Gabby win their totem pole puzzle. It was meant to be a joke. Everyone took it as a joke. Nani laughed it off. Then we move into topic number 4, which was Teresa and Jay, and Teresa wasn't there, so Jay has to be the one that's like talking about the moves that they made, and Corey comes out and says like, look, you lied to me. We were really close going into the game, and you lied to me. And Corey lays it out there that Jay got lost in playing Teresa's game, that he lost his own game in the mix because yes, they did what they wanted to do in the short term, but in the long term, they made a ton of enemies out of Leroy, Cam, Corey, Kyle. It really bit Jay in the butt, and that's how he got sent home and thrown into the elimination. Josh and Jay get into it on stage saying that they can't trust each other, and then it comes out that Jay was like reaching out to everybody, calling everybody and texting everybody and saying like, look, let's be in an alliance together, we could be an alliance. And everybody on stage was like, he called me. So Jay is looking like he's a West 2.0, which got everybody laughing. It was really funny to see that, but at the end of it, everybody was like, look, we can't trust Jay heading into future seasons if he's making alliances with everybody in the house. It was really, really funny. Then we get 2 green lights in a row where Darrell is talking about how why would he have CT's back? He's never done anything for him. And Darrell was like, that was less pointed at CT and more towards the audience members who were like, look, why aren't you helping your OG member CT? It's like, look, that's not how the game is played. I'm playing my own game. This is what I'm doing. This is the people that I'm with. Then we move into Teresa's tweet about how she calls everybody in the house boring and that she has toddlers at home that are way more entertaining than the toddlers in the challenge house, which everybody then is telling Teresa to shut up, and that if you like your family and hanging out at home and you got all the money, why even come back to the challenge house and just stay at home? Which, I don't know, it was just so weird that they brought up Teresa's tweet when Teresa wasn't there to like back herself up. To me, I get it that they were bringing up her tweet to like bring her up in the conversation and to like get a little bit more drama and a little bit more like action out of everyone on stage, but to me it was just like, she's not even there. Like, she's not talking about like why she tweeted that or when she tweeted that or the mindset. It was just like, Then we get into topic 5, which was Anissa appreciation topic, where Vernon turned it over to Anissa saying like, look, you come in every single season, everyone's doubting you. And she said, look, I may not have the best endurance, I may not be skinny, but look, I will always give it 100% and I will never give up. And I'm also on the show for something more, and that is representation. Anissa then is showered with love from Nani, Corey. Everyone is saying how much they love her, how they love how humble she is. Anissa gets choked up. I think going through these seasons, Anissa gets like so much baggage thrown at her because of the competitor that people view her as a quote-unquote layup. I mean, just this season alone, she was put through the ringer in the confessionals with Fessy, with Kyle, with everyone, just like talking about her and her abilities in the game, questioning her. And I think it was really nice to have this like Anissa appreciation topic. Topic number 6 was the daily challenges. Mainly talked about jumping out of the airplane. Leroy was scared. Big T was scared. CT still hates trivia as he was like looking down directly into the water. Everyone agreed that the Ram balls were the worst thing to eat this season. Topic number 7 was all the medical DQs. We have Kyle talking about his finger, and it's not completely a 100% still. Nam talked about being disappointed with himself because he had to be medically DQ'd because of his back, but everybody showered him with love, saying that you're going to be back, and he is rumored to be back next season, which I'm very happy to hear, because I think, like, I really enjoyed him. I think he got a rough season this season, being partnered up with Lolo, having to deal with that partnership, and then having his back go out on him. I really hate to see him not get his shot in elimination and get to make it farther into the season. So I'm happy to hear that he is rumored to be on next season and that he's feeling much, much better. Moving to topic number 8, which was funny moments. We get the West shoe face again, Big T getting Joseph's name wrong in the confessionals, Josh in asset destruction trying to throw those balls. Everyone had a great time laughing at that as they ended the segment with that. Then everyone talks about Nelson's toy that he brought into the game with, and it was rather interesting to hear about Nelson's toy bringing it to the challenge house. And then he said he left it there and he wants it back after hearing people had I mean, you better put it in the dishwasher or something. If I left something somewhere and then I heard other people were using it, I know that was a joke, but I mean, if I heard that in real life, I don't want that bag. I'm just go buy a new one. You got an Amazon account, prime it to yourself. Then we go into topic number 9, where we get some makeout scenes that we may or may have not seen. We have the Fessy and Ashley kiss, which we saw on the Aftermath, and they talked about it. We also get to see Anissa making out with Big T and Amber M. On her birthday, Big T and Ashley kiss quite a few times, according to them, and then Amber M and Michi. We did not see any of this on the season, so they decided to put it in like a tiny video pack and put it out here. Anissa announces that Nani was her best kiss ever in the challenge. And then finally, topic number 10 was Leroy's retirement. We get a small video montage over some few seasons. We get something from his Real World season. Then we get into Free Agents. They love to show that vendettas where he falls off the car. And then War of the Worlds 2, and then this season. And then he was asked if he was good with his decision for retirement. Is he still going to retire? And Leroy says he's 1,000,000% sticking with his decision to retire. Then Vernon turns it over to Cam saying look, Leroy is retiring, but does that mean you're retired and you're never going to come back to the challenge? And Cam is like, that's not it at all. So we could see Cam in future seasons. And when asked around, CT said look, I said the same thing at one point, Nani said the same thing, Teresa said the same thing, and they all came back. I think Brad said the same thing and he came back later on down the line. So there's always a possibility that Leroy could come back to the challenge. Right now in this moment, Leroy sounds super confident and super at peace with leaving the challenge, whether it's for a couple of years or if it's going to be for good. But honestly, I'm so happy because to me, he seems so happy and at peace with his decision, and he seems so confident with it too. And to have somebody who supports him like Cam 100%, when she said that, oh, if he likes it, I love it, that hit me in the heart because I was like, yes, that is couple goals right there. And he's so happy, I think, in general right now that he doesn't need to fill it with anything else. His cup is already running over with his true love, Cam, with being living together, being so happy in love with her, and then starting his own business now and getting to start the next chapter in his life. I just feel like he is just so at peace, and I love to see it. And then we move into a goodbye message montage from everyone on the season, saying their lovely words to Leroy and saying goodbye to Leroy. I like this one, especially because I felt like they needed to do something more than the quick montage that they did that only highlighted 4 of his seasons that he's done, the 4 of his 12 seasons. Now, in saying how good the goodbye message montage was, I really do wish that they would have spread out a little bit more and asked competitors that weren't on this particular season and who were good friends with Leroy to say their goodbye messages. I think if they would have reached out to Bananas, because they were such good friends on the challenge together, and pretty much Leroy, every single season Leroy did, Bananas was there except for this season, and I think that they're always known as being really, really close friends, that if you would have reached out to Bananas and said hey, can you say a goodbye message to him and we'll put it in this pack, Bananas would have been totally down with that. So to me, I think they could have like done a little bit more than like backstage camera work and like people like doing a 30-second like cameo on their phones to Leroy. Granted, I think it was a really nice touch, and I'm glad that they had something rather than nothing, because they could have just easily done nothing and then filled that like 2-minute space with something completely random. But I'm happy that they had it in there. I just think that it could have been done a little bit better. But that is where we end this reunion and this season of the Challenge Double Agents. What did you think about this reunion? Let me know that in the comment section below. What did you think about the montage? What did you think about everyone's answers and all the stuff that happened? Let me know that in the comment section below. And before I go, I want to mention something special that I want to do for tomorrow's Tiny Table Talk for the Challenge Reunion Part 2. This is it. This is the final Tiny Table Talk for the season. So I want to do something special, and I want to do final thoughts. I have no doubt that I'm going to be touching on this season in future videos, whether it's going to be records or if I'm going to be doing an in-depth like ranking of every single season of the challenge. I'm going to be touching on it, but for season's sake, I'm not going to be going in depth with it. And this is pretty much the last time we're going to be going in depth of the season as we head on to the off season and into the final episodes of the All-Stars and heading into the future of the Challenge 37. So the way I'm going to be taking these comments is if you say final thoughts, and then say whatever it is you want to say about the season, the final thing you want to say about the season, whether it's a critique, whether it's a praise, whether it's something about a player, the format, heading into the next season, what do you want to see from the next season taken from this season, or what you don't want to see from this season ever again. Let me know that in the comment section below, and I will be taking a good chunk of those final thoughts, comments, and be reading them and reacting to them and commenting them on my next video on the Tiny Table Talk, the final table talk for this season. So let me know that in the comment section below what your final thoughts on Double Agents is as we're heading into the off season. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining me on this season long journey. It was a long journey, but thank you so much for being here with me. I had such a great time reading everyone's comments throughout the season and replying to everybody. Thank you so much. And while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.